Okay, good morning. So we're up to Siman Kuf Samach Halacha Test, Sif Test, some interesting halachas. Maim Meluchim, salty water, or sruchim, or putrid water, or marim, or bitter water, she'ein hakelev yachol lishtes mehem, that a dog cannot drink from them, psulim Netilas Yadayim. They're no goods, they're invalid to use for Netilas Yadayim. Even though you could use it for a mikvah or for tefillah purposes, that would be okay. If they're just dirty because of the earth that is mixed with them, then if a dog could drink from them, then they would be okay. This sort of muddy water, both for Netilas Yadayim and for mikvah. But if a dog cannot drink from them, then psulim l'shneihem, then it would be invalid for both. Okay, so water, so the Mechaber began and said the water which is very salty or bitter, that a dog can't drink from them, then it's no good for Netilas Yadayim, but it is kosher l'mikvah. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Amud Ches, Mai Meluchim, Mei Hayam. For example, what's salty water? You've got seawater. Im here sichu eison, if you boil it up, if you boil it up, then it would be drinkable by a dog, and then it will be kosher for netila. Now, to do tevilas yadayim, for example, you want to have lunch by the sea, and the water is very salty. So to do netilas yadayim, you've got a problem because the water is too salty. But if you do tevilas yadayim, you dunk your hands into the sea, that would be okay. If you look at 39, just the beginning there, he says that if you, without avol belishir sicho esom ve'madayim b'mlichusom, but if the water is still very salty because you haven't boiled it up, psulun netila, it's possible for Netilas Yadayim. V'chein kosu b'sifra Machan Yisrael, and so too the Chaim writes that in his sefer Machan Yisrael, which was written for those people going out to the army, shekasherim rak l'achasher sichem, that salty water is only going to be okay to use for Netilas Yadayim after you've boiled it up and it becomes drinkable. So the eitzah is, if you're by the sea, is to do tevilas yadayim and not netilas yadayim. Okay, she'ein hakelev, says the Mishnah Berurah Lamed Tes, we're in Kuf Samach Sif Tes. She'ein hakelev, says the Mishnah Berurah, to kiven she'im seruchim kol kach, if the water is so putrid, she'ein shafilu hakelev ein yochel lishtos mehem, that even a dog cannot drink from it, have a ki'ilu nisbatal meteras mayim. It's no longer has the status of water. Or psaluha rabbanan and Netilas Yadayim, and Chazal said this is now invalid for Netilas Yadayim. Lemei mikvah l'tvila. So this is going on mem, but we said that the salt water, if they're so salty, then the dog wouldn't drink from them. Then they're no good for Netilas Yadayim, but they're kosher for the main mikvah for tefillah purposes. Says the Mishnah Berurah, you've got mem v'uadin Netilas Yadayim, and so too for Tevilas Yadayim they're ordered mitvilah. So again, you've got seawater which you cannot really drink it, and a dog wouldn't drink it, but it would be okay for tefillah purposes. You can be tovel in the sea, and you can also be tovel Yadayim. That would be okay. But the Mechaber carried on and said, but if you've got water which is achurim machmas tit, which is like muddy water, so then if the dog can drink from it, then it's kosher for both Netilas Yadayim and for mikvah. Says in Mishnah Berurah Mem Aleph, Himakelev yochel dahainu she'ein of kol kach, that the water is not so thick, it's not so muddy. V'ayin b'chulin, take a look in the Gemara in Chulin of a perek kolbasa, but divrei chamudas ois lamed ches kasherim or machmas shinamara in nifsan. Just because it's got a different color, that's not a problem. The derech hamayim kenu, because that's just the way of water. V'chanal b'is gimel Mishnah Berurah. Okay, good. Okay, Sif Yud. Noitlim liyadayim b'chol davar shetchilasim in amayim. Interesting halacha. You're allowed, it's a very unusual case, you're allowed to do Netilas Yadayim with anything that was sort of from its outset was actually water. Kagoin yavchushim, perish toilaim, some form of worm or gnats or something. Adumim, red worms, or shum and dag, or the fat of fish and things like that. V'nira dafke im riskon. Delay odif mishalig. Dafka, if you crush it, no different to snow. Says the Mishnah Berurah, these creatures, these worms were formed, they developed from the water. So therefore, putting your hand in a bucket of these worms or whatever, that's considered putting it in water. Or using that, sorry, for Netilah. Because they came from the water. It's not a problem, they don't look like water now, but it's not a problem of shinumara, because their creation was from water. If you crush them, dafka. In this respect, it's stricter than with snow. Because with these teilaim, with these worms, it's no good if you haven't crushed them. After Beshelik Mutter Betfila Besoichem B'Shas Hatchak Uchtlakam V'Sifyud Beis Mishnah Berurah Ayin Sham. Mishnah will get that today, that if with snow, you can actually just put your hands in the snow, that's considered B'Diavad as a form of Tevilas Yadayim. Okay, carrying on. Yud Aleph. Mayim sheyesh lo sofek. Very interesting case. You've got a sofek in the Netilas Yadayim. So for example, we've said before that you can't use water where malacha had been done with it, work, you've used it for washing up and things like that. But what if there's a sofek? You're not sure if this water has been used for washing up or not. Or another sofek. You're not sure if it's got the right amount of Netilas for Netilas Daim. Or, for example, if the water is Tomei or Tahar, or you're just not sure, did I wash my hands already? I can't remember. Tahar. In those cases, you are Tahar. And the reason is because it says Drabonan and Sofik Drabonan Lukula, and therefore we assume Tahar. V'chol Sofik Tahar B'Yadayim Tahar, says the Ramah. V'yesh Misha Omer, however, carrying on the Mechaba, Shal Kol Zoisim Yesh L'Mayim Acherim Yitl Yodav V'Yetziatzim Min HaSofik. If you've got other water, then just get out of the Sofik and just wash your hands again. Says the Ramah, if someone had not washed his hands and touched some water, he has not puzzled that water. They don't become maim tomei. But you cannot use water where your friend has already washed. And to use that water, that's because it's either, the Mishnah is going to explain, because the whole water have become tomei, or because it's considered you've worked the water. It's considered nasa melacha. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah on Yud Aleph. Memvov, Sivkot Memvov, Sofik Imnas, Hainu, Beinshin Istapik Acha Netilah. Whether you had a Sofik after the Netilah, Afilu Kaidim Netilah, even before, Mutala Yitel Yadav Behem, Im Einu Mai Macherim. If there's no other water there, you've got a bottle of water, and you're not sure, did I use this for washing up or not, or whatever the Sofik, is this enough of a shear? In all those situations, if you haven't got any other water, you're allowed to use that for Netilas Yadayim. Im yesh bohem kashir, says the Mishnah Berurah Mem Zayin, uvazeh dafkim nistapik la'achar she'not el yadav. That's with regard to the shear. Then that's only if the sofik occurred afterwards. Aval mikaydim lei. But if it's before or not, masha ein yodeh levarim yesh lo kashir ein choshev sofik, because you got to just find out. Lack of knowledge, if you could have found out, is not called a sofik. If you take a look at 49, very interesting. For chazan ish. How far do you have to go? You're just not sure if this is enough for a shear of Netilas Yadayim. He says if you haven't got a measuring, means of measuring, then ein tzorich levara. V'af kasheyesh le'efsharis levara ein ze muchruch tzorich levara. Shari Netilah b'pachas meshir ein osa. You can't answer it, and therefore and he adds if there's no other water available, then it's kosher. Then you don't have to be mavara, because what's going to help? You've got no other option. And therefore you might as well you might as well do Netilas Yadayim. She calls Sofik Tahar B'Yadayim Tahar. Okay, good. So the important Chaznish. Okay, the Sofik, carrying on the Mechaba, Mishnah Berurah, the Sofik Machlikas HaPoskim Haru Kasha Sofik. What if you've got a Machlikas HaPoskim in Netilas Yadayim, whatever it may be? Sofik Machlikas HaPoskim Haru Kasha Sofik, the Kivin Shlechriba Haru Kasofik Ba'alm Mis Drabonan V'Nagdin and Lahakel. And therefore, since the whole concept of Netilas Yadayim is a Drabonan, and therefore we are Mekel. For example, another suffix, Tmei Matahirim, Pirush, Mayim, Psulim, Iksherim, that the water itself is either posel or kosher. the Netilas lechulin ein hamayim nifsalim machmas tumason kadilel b'simen kufnun tes sufidalef, because for Netilas Yadayim purposes, then they don't become possible for chulin purposes. Tahar v'atam the Netilas drabonan hu d'lo yechmir b'sfeika. And the reason is we paskin that a suffix is actually tahar because Netilas Yadayim is lo yechmir b'sfeika. The Chazal who instituted Netilas Yadayim were not strict when it came to a suffix. Afilu hayu kol sfeikas yachat ksherin. Even if you have multiple sfeikas, we still say that it's kosher. V'chol suffix tahara kagoin im hoya hakli shalem olay. For example, is the kli a good kli? Is it shalem or is it broken? Or b'chiyah gavna is a suffix. Now this is going on, Nun Aleph, this is going on, in any case, if you've got other water, then you should just err on the side of caution and just wash again. So it says in the Mishnah Berurah, this is going on the whole sif, if you've got an opportunity to get out of the suffix, you obviously should do that. It's good to go after water. If you can be extra careful and to find other water, if you've got a suffix, you should, because not washing your hands properly for bread is kosher la'anius, is could lead to poverty. V'yotzi atzmoi, and he should be motzi atzmoi min hasofik im yodea shenotzl k'halacha, if he knew that he washed his hands properly. V'achkach noted by him sofik, and then later a sofik arose. Kugoin shenistapik bohenim misiach daito im lov. He's not sure if he was misiach da, so sheyodea shlesiach daito, or he knew he didn't. Rak shahishid yodu somach lemokam hatzinofes, or he may have touched a part of the body which is uncovered or something else. V'sofik im noga bohem sofik lo noga. Ein tzorich laksa v'lid l'achal afilu lot sesidei sofik. So for example, you're not sure, did I put my hand down the back of my shirt to scratch the back of my neck or something like that? You're not sure. So then, when there's a chazaka that your hands will clean, you don't have to go and wash your hands again. Lo nifsalu. What's that going on? Mishalei notzol yodav v'nogam b'mayim lo nifsalu oson hamayim nenetila. Right. Or kamo b'sif beis b'nachtem, with the case of the baker. V'af al gav the b'notzol yodav achas v'shivsha b'chareta. Now this is the point you made the other week, Shimon, that if you washed one hand v'shivsha b'chareta and then you touched the other hand, nitmu hamayim shal yodav. The water on your hand became tummy because the second hand was not yet clean. However, if your unwashed hands touched water in a kli, that does not matame the water in the kli. That's the chiluk. So, for example, you come into the bathroom and you want to wash your hands. You can sort of scoop out the water and put it into another kli. And the water that remained in the kli that you took it out of does not become tome through your hands. If, however, you're washing your hands in that bucket to clean them, then then you sort of, they've been used and then you can't use them. Even if your hands weren't actually dirty. Since you wanted to wash them, because they've touched a part of the body which is normally covered, it's as if they've been poured out and therefore it's no good. Like we said, if you've already, the Ramah finished off and said, if your friend has washed his hands, to take that water out of the bucket and for you to use it, you can't do that. Why? Because A, the water's become tomei, and B, that would still be also. Okay, let's just do Yud Beis, we've got time. Hasheleg v'habar, this is very interesting halacha. What about snow? Can you use snow and ice and things like that? Says the Mechaber Yud Beis. Hasheleg v'habar v'akfer v'aglid, all different types of snow and slush and ice and things like that. Frost, pirush hamayim hanikfim mirev hakar, water that's frozen because of the cold. V'hamelach, and so too salt. Imriskan ashenasu mayim, if you crush it until it becomes water. Noitlin mehem. You can be noitel with that, and you can be tovel if there's enough of a shear. You can dip your hands into the snow and things like that. I'm B'Yardeh Simon Reish Aleph Sif Lamed. Okay, let's just do the Mishnah Berurah on that. Hakfar says the Mishnah Berurah Nunvav. Hakvar geshamim shenikfu b'yiridason v'u kein bard. It's like hail or things, sleet and things like that. V'hamelach lav b'chol gavni mutar melach. Now, not all types of salt is this going to be okay. The netila b'kli al yodov halo posla mechaber b'el sif beis after my meluchim, because if it's very salty, we said just previously in Sif Tes that you can't use water which is very salty. For example, seawater, we said, you can't just take a case of seawater and do Netilas Yadayim because it's not drinkable. But you can do Tevilas Yadayim, muta kashesh ben shir mikvah, if you dip your hands into the sea, that would work. Umishum degamna Tevilas haguf kasherin. V'pnei de kol elu shinum yachad in a mikvah, klal kolan afgam kan deinim shovim b'dinim legamre. And therefore it included the case of salt over here, even though technically it won't be able to be used because you won't be able to drink it. In Riskon, if you crush the snow, says the Mishnah Berurah, Siv Kotan Nunches, Avul Belav Hachi Ein Noitlin Boim Bekli, but otherwise, Ein Noitlin Boim Bekli, you can't use them with a Kli, Avul Lit Bel Hayadayim Besoichon, but to put your hands, to do Tvilas Yadayim, to dip your hands into a big thick layer of snow, that would be okay, so long as Im Yeshman Kashia Mikvah Muta B'Shas Atchak, She'en L'mayim Af B'lei Riskan, if you've got no other water available. V'afilim Ein HaShelig Mechunas Harbe B'Basachas, even if the snow is not sort of gathered together and it's very thick, Ela Munach Al Pnei HaOretz, V'Nomuch Harbe, even if it's quite shallow, the snow, and it's spread across a field or the garden or the street, Kol Sheish Aboim Sah Mechubi Yachad Tovim Bo. As long as there's 40 saw together across the whole lot, a bigger area, that would be okay. At least you've got to cover your hands. So can you do the Netilas Yadayim with snow? The answer is you can do Tvilas Yadayim. So you can sort of submerge your hands into the snow, even though it's quite shallow, so long as it's covered an area together of 40 saw, that would be okay, so long as your hands are covered. So that would work. Okay, let's just finish off. Back to the Mechaba, second bottom line. Now, we're going to have a three machlokas here. What about using Ribena, Coke, orange juice for Netilas Yadayim? So says the Mechaba, you've got to use water and water only. That's the first opinion. Second opinion, you could use wine, whether you dilute it or not. But you shouldn't really use it because Chazal said wine is important, it gave it a special bracha, etc. Third opinion, sorry, this is a qualification of the second. When do we say you can use wine? Dafka if it's white wine. But not red wine. And yesh mishaim, a third opinion, shekol me peiris urim netilas yadayim. Any fruit juice is allowed for Netilas Yadayim b'shas atchak. Ideally, you should use water, but b'shas atchak you could use orange juice and things like that. For kolshkein the muta little yad of yadayim b'shas atchak b'sheichar meidvasham v'shalim di'ikar mayim, and certainly beer and things like that, which is ikka is mayim. 95% of it is water. Okay, just finish off the Mishnah Berurah. Nuntes yesh misha omer lo kaya reisha sif. This is not going on the beginning of the sif. Dahani havi b'chlal mayim el lafuke me peiros bilvad ka'osi de'enim chashuvim mayim. This first opinion, which says dafka water, is coming to exclude fruit juices. For cholshken yain learn, certainly you can't use wine. So the first opinion is water only. V'atam the Netilas Yadayim somchu al kra the b'viyodov lo yishotaf b'mayim. Because v'lochein tzarich mayim dafka. So the first opinion is dafka water and water only. V'yesh oimrim shayayin kosher. The second opinion is that wine is okay. V'cholshken shamei peres, and certainly fruit juice and shar mashkin the sfir lehu v'lehisruchu dafka mayim netila. They don't require dafka mayim. You can use wine, you can use fruit juices and things like that. And it's not considered a disgrace for food and to sort of to use food in a disgraceful way. That's not a problem. Because I need it. It's not sort of just wanton destruction. But you should preferably not use wine because whether you've diluted or not, it's a choshev thing, and it's got its own bracha. Could come reishim and reishim beisiv hey la'atzmai. According to the second opinion, you can use wine b'di'evad, but l'chatchila you can use other juices and no problem. Aval Adam lo. We said dafka white wine, but not red wine. Why not red wine? The nishanu mimar mayim, because it doesn't look like water anymore. V'yesh oimim harishan svirlei de'ena choshev shinamara kivin sh'oimdim b'marason shoyim etchila. Because it's not a shinamara, because this is the initial color of it. V'imhoya lavon v'oso is on eldoim alidei tzeva. If you make it into red wine through adding some sort of color, kohen she'oisin kam upon b'yene shalonu mashman dekul am pesulin. Okay, and now you got the third opinion that v'yesh mishemesh shekol mei peris. Hidei Shlishis, says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Cotton Samach Daled. This is a third opinion. The Machlekes ben Yain lemei peres. They make a distinction between wine and fruit juices. The beyayin postel midina. If according to this third opinion, you cannot use wine. Af b'di'evet kedei rishona, even b'di'evet, like the first opinion. Aval b'mei peres noitlim b'shas atchag, but you can use mei peres b'shas atchag. Disfirle de kol mei peres koramayim chutz miyayin. Uladina yesh leher. So you got three opinions. One says water only, one says all liquids, and the third opinion says that only fruit juice, yes, but not wine. What's the halacha? Uladina yesh lahiris kadezu. The Mishnah Berurah says we pass on like the third opinion, lahachmir b'yayin, not to use wine, ulahokel b'mei peres b'shas atchak, but to be mekil when it comes to mei peres. Now, just by the way, does that include Coke and things like that? So if you look at 63, he says ule'inyan netila b'sham mashkois kosu b'shal shuvas erd etzion sheb'mei soida v'mashkem musug l'loy tzeva k'moi mashke ha-lemon lime, right, like a Sprite, a 7-Up, and things like that. He says, "Kiven she'ein bohem shum shinumara me'amayim vaday shekshem netila." That it would include 7-Up and transparent drinks. Af yochol v'rachem tinizu. Avin yesh b'hem seva kagoin koila v'kafe. If it's coffee or Coke and things like that, dinam kamei peres shekshem b'di'eved. Then that would be okay only b'di'eved if you've got nothing else. So lechatchila water. Then the Mishnah Paskins that b'shas atchak you can use orange juices and things like that, and Cokes and whatever, fruit juices and coffee and things like that. Sifkot and samachei v'kolshkein demuta u'mishum shinamara lo nifselu. We're not worried about shinamara. Desfir le tehechad ishtani li'loi lechoshev shinoi v'ayim b'behal agroa. The mashma desfir le sfir le svarzu. Okay, say it.